of September 24th, 2023, the last week in September, take us right up to the brink of October 1st. And if we had, let's call it a relatively calm astrological weather for the month of September, probably August too, that's all over as we start heading into October. And we're going to have a very, very busy October, which we'll be covering in the live forecast on September 30th. That's Saturday, September 30th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll do the live forecast. So join me for that. It'll be fun. You can ask questions about it. I'll do the forecast up front, and then you can ask questions and we can see, because October we're heading towards eclipse season. Pluto is stationing. All kinds of stuff is happening in October. We get started with it in September. The last week in September is one of the hot spots of the month. Now, I want to say, first of all, that the astrological weather may have been calm. That doesn't mean that your life has been calm. That has more to do with the transits that are going on in your chart. And it doesn't mean that our collective life has been quiet. That has to do with transits that are going on all over the place that are affecting various things. And also, too, a lot of the times we're just walking out decisions and indecisions that we made a long time ago. So it doesn't mean that life has been so calm or anything, but a lot of new stuff hasn't shown up on the table. We see with the mundane, is what we call it in astrology, the mundane forecast for the week and so on, tells us a lot about what new things are coming up or what things will reach culmination. So this week, speaking of culmination, we have the full moon in the sign of Aries. Always a bit of a challenge, right? Because we have, on the one hand, the sun is in Libra, all about balance, all about that sort of, taking different perspectives. And the moon is shining in from Aries saying, well, no. Enough about you. What about me? The sort of opposite, well, they are opposite signs, Aries and Libra. Every full moon is an opposition. And we have a very marked energy, and it's particularly important this time around because the North Node is in Aries, sort of encouraging independence and action, right? So full moons are active times anyway, but we get a little extra action going on here because what we have this month is the sense of, okay, enough debate, enough, how does it go this way, that way? Somebody's got to act. Somebody's got to jump in and do things. And that is the right approach, the North Node tells us. It's the right approach to do something as opposed to just sit and talk about it. And, okay, we have to take everybody's perspective into account. But sooner or later, somebody's got to actually do something. This is what we're heading towards. This is what the full moon is encouraging us to do. The full moon is on the 29th, so it's more towards the end of the week. We get started the week, it's got a pretty good flavor to it. We have Mercury now moving direct, is making a nice trine to Jupiter. Mercury's in his own home sign of Virgo, where he can be kind of precise. Jupiter retrograding in Taurus gives a little more earthy groundedness. Should be good for communication. That's a theme early in the week. The aspect is exact on Monday, but early in the week, we have this sort of communication vibe going on. You can get your message across with relative ease. Again, you can do things too. We're talking about earth signs. This would be a really good time to, let's say, for example, do a little bit of research. For those of you that are in school, this would be a good time to write that paper that's going to be due in a couple of weeks or something along those lines. Then we move towards, as we get past midweek, we move towards that full moon. We start to feel that full moon energy building Wednesday, Thursday, very hot Friday, and in through Saturday. Now, there's a lot of stuff at this full moon that makes me think that relationships are going to be prominent, okay? First of all, Venus and Juno have been together. They've been in conjunct, more or less, at the same part of Leo all month long. I think it was on the 10th that Juno passed essentially stationary Venus, but now Venus is catching up and she's going to pass Juno on the 27th, close enough to the full moon, which is actually very early on Friday. So we feel Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday too. So what we want in relationship, what we value, Venus, and partnership commitment, Juno, they're either working out or they're not working out. Right. So depends where you are in your relationship status. I would think that, if you were toying with a relationship idea during Venus's retrograde this summer, this could be a time when you come to a decision one way or the other about it. Another thing that Venus is doing on Friday, the 29th, is to square Uranus. Now, Venus squared Uranus back on July 2nd, and then again on August 9th when she was retrograding, and now this is the final square. So all of the Venus-Uranus rules or expectations apply. You need a little bit of freedom. You kind of got to go do the thing that you want to do. You might want to make changes in relationship. You might want to make changes. You might want to change your partner, or you might want to change partners or something along those lines. It's this new, open, experimental kind of energy. If you have the memory for it, or you want to look at it on your phone and figure out when the text messages were doing what, you may find that something that began around the beginning of July and maybe hit a snag or something in early August gets resolved now on this Venus-Uranus themes. Certainly, it suggests between Venus being together with Juno and then Uranus being with Venus, you would expect that what we're going to get here is a sort of lively, at the full moon too, a kind of lively presentation of things. So we can pretty much expect that. A lot of relationship stuff. And then, of course, Juno goes on to square Uranus. And then if a partnership commitment is working, then it kind of maybe goes to another level. If it's not working, then this is an opportunity to say goodbye. All of that relationship stuff happening right around the full moon this week. Then Mercury is trining Uranus. And again, this is pretty much right at the full moon. And so where's our energy going here? This is very much the kind of ability to come up with a new idea, to share your ideas. You take the precision of Mercury in Virgo and the revolutionary energy of Uranus. And so again, this is another aspect, great for research, great for digging into the particular things. Okay, it'd probably be a really good opportunity if you need any healing, if you're going to, it's a great time for a Reiki session or something like that, I would think. Speaking of which, Mars and Chiron are aspecting each other this week, but I'm no chiropractor, so I don't know what that's about. Figure it out for yourself. They're in opposition to each other. So there's our plan for the week. We have a very active end of the week. The weekend should be a lot of fun. The moon, Aries, Taurus, by next week, Gemini, but good energy at the full moon, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, this good time. Sunday's fine. You can go have fun on Sunday. Maybe make it it's Sunday, but you can go have fun on Sunday. So it should be a good weekend. If your relationship is at a tipping point, positive or negative, or forward or not forward, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to say it's positive or negative. Then this could be the time when things tip. And generally speaking, we are heading towards a very exciting and dynamic piece of the calendar in October and then into November. So join me on Saturday morning, September 30th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we'll talk about the October forecast. See ya.